What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to Tech and Tactical. Today we're going to do a review of my knife that lives in my car. There's a couple reasons it lives in my car, which I'm going to get to, but to be honest with you, one of the reasons is because I don't really like the action on this knife. This knife is very, very stiff as far as the way that it deploys. It's really... it's just really stiff, really tight. I'm just not in love with the action. I do like the knife for what it is, but it's not one of those knives that I want to carry and fiddle with all day long. So like we said we are going to do some specs on this guy. So as far, this is the SOG Escape knife. It actually says it right there. Escape. It is partially serrated. This particular one, let me do the specs. Overall length is 8.2 inches. The close length is 4.8 inches. The knife weighs 4.8 ounces, so it's also heavy. That's kind of another maybe issue I have with it. Blade length is 3.4 inches. So you have a decent cutting edge there. I mean, you do have partial serrations. Blade thickness is 0.13 inches. And it does have a little top swedge there, so it tapers in a bit. It is folding with a lock back. So there's the other thing. It's kind of my least favorite lock. It's a lock back, so you press this in order to disengage the blade. Very, very stiff. Detent is insane. Like, you can't even really get it open. And you guys have seen me handle knives before. I'm quite comfortable normally, and this thing is, got me having trouble here. So, there is that. This is made in China. And there was one other thing I wanted to tell you. Oh, right. Blade steel, 9CR18 MOV. So, I guess it's supposed to be a step up from regular 8CR, but it's definitely kind of a more budget steel. Also, handle material is anodized aluminum, and then it is that black wash finish on the blade itself. It did come rather sharp, but I have abused this a bit since I've owned it. You can see some chunks taken out. I don't know what happened on the tip there. I don't know if I was using it to baton or what. Okay, so what is it about the knife that makes it the Escape? Okay, so there's a couple things. First of all, it does have a very sharp glass breaker. So you can see that glass breaker tip. I mean, that thing will shatter some glass. And then it has a seatbelt cutter, so there's a little blade in there that is not the same blade as the knife blade, where you can use that to cut seatbelts. And there supposedly is a second blade inside there. So one of the things I wanted to do is find out. And yes, there is another little blade inside of there. So once the blade that's on there goes dull, you can actually... I mean, I don't know how many seatbelts you're going to cut to make this thing go dull, but if it were to dull, you do have a second blade underneath the handle, which is kind of cool. So how big of a deal is that? I don't know. I mean, are you really going to cut so many seatbelts that you need to replace that blade? Also, the pocket clip's kind of a piece of crap, so it's really... got a lot of back and forth movement. It's not very stiff. One attachment point. I like the ones that have three. Looks like you've got some wire strip options here too, because you've got the blade showing through. So it looks like you can do that. Oh, here's where it says spare blade under SOG handle cover. So we found out that that's true. So this isn't going to be a real long review. As I said, this knife sits in my car. As literally an escape tool if it ever comes down to it. Hopefully I never need to use it, obviously, for that. So as I said, quick review. Just wanted you guys to see what knife lives in my car. I'm not really in love with this thing, but it is kind of got a couple cool features for escape. You know, I've got a knife on my belt and a knife in my bag too, so it's not like I would ever really need to go to this unless I was trying to break glass or something. But so there it is. Please like and subscribe. I know this wasn't a very exciting video. You know, most of the time I'm reviewing stuff I'm just totally in love with, so maybe there's a little bit more excitement. But I wanted you guys to see this if you're thinking about buying it. I guess it is pretty cool for what it is, but I just really don't like the action on the thing. I mean, you really gotta... And then the lockback, it's like the worst combination. So, there it is. SOG Escape. There are some SOG knives I like. This one, you know, I kind of like. You know, maybe it's like a 6 out of 10. Please like and subscribe, and check out some of the other videos. I've got some cool stuff coming up. I've got a mini Griptilian with M390 steel, my favorite steel, coming up for review. So like and subscribe, and thanks again.